Today we'll learn the last part of the Mayim Rabim. The Rebbe said in Tavshin Lamed Ches, 1977, 40 years ago. And as we said earlier, this Mayim comes in continuation to the first Mayim that the Rebbe said a few short days, 2 short days after the heart attack on Motzei Simchas Torah, where the Rebbe speaks about the fact that Simchas Torah, we dance specifically with our feet, in the physical, material world, something which unites all of us together, which that helps for the V'Yakov Halach L'Darka, so that the entire year, even when we go into the regular weekdays after Simchas Torah, we can bring this essence, reveal it inside everything we do. Moreover, a few days later, when it came Matzei Shabbos Bereishis, and the Rebbe spoke about the Bereishis Bara Elikim, that our realization that everything is Hashem, and Hashem created everything, that gives us the ability, even after Shabbos Bereishis, when we're going into the world, to be able to go into the world in the proper way and do our Avodah in a proper way. 1 week later, after a full week in the year, when we're already going into the month of Cheshvan, and the Rebbe said Matzei Shabbos, the Mayim Rabim, where the Rebbe explains how is it, and when a person's involved with the Mayim Rabim, with the abundance of water, with all the tirdes haparnasa, the worries and the involvement in one's livelihood, something that according to the nature of things can take the person away from his connection to Hashem. Especially when they're tirdes, when he doesn't properly understand the fact that he's only involved in his livelihood in order to fulfill that Hashem's blessing come when we make a garment, but the garment is not the main thing. But the person doesn't understand that, and because of that he becomes involved in it, and he becomes worried about it, and he becomes preoccupied with it. And yet, nevertheless, all of these great abundant waters and all of these the preoccupation with his livelihood is something which isn't able to extinguish and to take away his love and his hidden love for Hashem. How is this? And that's why the Rebbe explained that despite the fact that the Mayim Rabim come from the world of Tohu, from the world of chaos, meaning they come from a much higher and more powerful energy of spiritual energy, which is what causes the physical existence, nevertheless, the neshama, the essence of a Jew's soul, the hidden love comes from the tzur, it comes from the source of his neshama, which is like the rock, or like the flintstone, which is the source of the godliness, and that is even higher and deeper even than those Mayim Rabim, than that world of Tohu, of chaos. Moreover, the Rebbe explains that in truth, the whole purpose of the Mayim Rabim, the whole goal and the whole mission, the whole reason why there is the Mayim Rabim, and all of the preoccupation and all of the involvement in the physical world, is in order to elevate and to lift up the love of the Jew, and therefore it's impossible they should extinguish it, because their whole purpose is to lift it up. And with that, the Rebbe continued that the idea of the neshama is the fact that it comes to the level of tshuva, which means the neshama, before it came down into this world, was on the level of a tzaddik. It was complete, it was connected, it was spiritually connected. Once it comes down into the world, it reaches a higher level, the level of tshuva, that despite the fact that it comes down into the physical world, it yearns to return and to connect its source. That's an even deeper level than the essence of the neshama before it came down. That connects the neshama to the essence of Hashem. To explain this idea a little bit more before we continue in the ideas of the Maimer, and as we began to explain last time, when the neshama is up above the level of tzaddik, tzaddik is a spiritual connection. The tzaddik has a spiritual energy. The tzaddik has the feeling of spirituality. Spirituality, as we said, comes from the world of tikkun. It's at a very high level, but that high level doesn't reach a higher level, which is the most powerful energy that expresses itself in the physical world. The concept of Baal Tshuva means it's not about the energy. It's not about who I am. It's about my purpose. It's about my mission. It's about my goal in this world. Why did I come down into this world? That's the essence of the neshama. That's something which doesn't connect with the revelations of the neshama. That's not the level of tzaddik where the neshama feels its connection, but rather where the neshama's essence is revealed. That no matter where I am and no matter what I do, I realize that not only am I still connected to Hashem, but on the contrary, the whole purpose of my coming down is because that's the reality, my connection to Hashem. And as a result, I reveal that even the Mayim Rabim, even the physical matters of the world that seem to take me away from Hashem, they also are there. Not only they're created by Hashem, like we learned in the last Mayim of Bereshis, but more than that, their whole purpose and their whole goal and their whole mission is in order to help me fulfill my mission to reconnect me to Hashem. And with this, the Rebbe explains that's the difference between the atzmos, the essence of the neshama, and the revelation of the neshama. In this way, specifically when the neshama comes down into this world, it reveals the essence of how it's one with the essence of Hashem, how it's one with the atzmos of Hashem, which is above Toyu and Tikkun, which reveals the reality of what everything is, that its purpose is in order to connect and to strengthen the connection of a Jew to Hashem. So despite the darkness and despite the hardship of the world, despite the fact that Yaakov halach l'darkei, that we have to go in our way in the world, the reality of it is that itself brings out even more the essence of our connection to Hashem. And with that, the Rebbe explains a very interesting thing. The Rebbe asks the question, how can you say that the neshama, before it came down into this world, was on the level of tzaddik? Through its coming down into this world, it reaches a higher level, it reveals the essence through being a Baal Tshuva, through having the level of being involved in the world and in the Mayim Rabim of the world, it reaches the ultimate connection of its true essence in Halikim Asher Nisana, Hashem who gave the neshama, the source and the root of the neshama and the essence of Hashem. He says, but before the neshama came down, it was also one with the essence of Hashem. Before the neshama came down into this world, every neshama comes from Atzmos. That's where the neshama comes from, the essence of Hashem. How can it become higher as a result of coming down into this world? So that explains over here a very amazing idea. What makes that connection and that real truth of the neshama being one with the essence of Hashem? The fact that Hashem knows, and Hashem doesn't need it to have happened already, because for him, past and present and future are all together. In Hashem's reality, the neshama already fulfilled and accomplished its mission down here in this world. Which the mission is to make Adira B'Tachtainim, to bring out, to reveal the purpose, the goal, the reality of what Hashem wants in this world, which is specifically down here in the lower worlds, to make a dwelling place for Hashem. And as a result of that mission that Hashem sees already, the fact that the neshama will fulfill it, and for Hashem it's as if the neshama already fulfilled it, that's what brings out, that's what makes that connection of the Jew with the essence of Hashem. However, that's the way it is from Hashem, that Hashem knows that it's going to happen, and Hashem knows for sure it will happen, and it's as if it happened already regarding Hashem, but it still has to come out into the practical. So by bringing it into the practical, it's as if that's what causes retroactively the fact that even beforehand the neshama was connected to the essence of Hashem. The connection to the essence of Hashem was something which was already in advance, because it's as if it already happened, but by us doing it practically and bringing it out in the physical world, we're retroactively revealing the connection of the neshama to the essence of Hashem. Which that's once again the idea of the difference between the neshama, the way it's in koyach, in potential, Potential is a more spiritual thing. It's more in the spiritual world that the potential is as if it's already there. To the practical and the physical world, which is what reveals that very essence of what it's really all about. Hence, the Rebbe says that's also the great addition and the accomplishment of Matzei Shabbos Parshas Noach over Matzei Shabbos Bereishis. In Matzei Shabbos Bereishis, we're coming from Shabbos Bereishis, and 2 days or 3 days, or this year it's right before that, was Simchas Torah and Shmini Atzeres and Sukkot, etc. We're potentially going out into the world. Hashem knows that we're going to fulfill all the decisions and all the resolutions we made. Hashem knows it's with certainty, without a question, what will happen. It's as if it already happened regarding Hashem, but it still didn't come out in the practical down here in the physical world. It's Shabbos Parshas Noach, when we're already been for a whole week in the world. And Matzei Shabbos Noach, going back into the world after that whole week in the world. So Shabbos, we have that power of Shabbos Noach, which is that practical and practically the actual avodah and the actual behavior and the accomplishments that we had in this world. And that's that V'Yakov halach l'darkei in a higher level. More than the one Matzei Yom Kippur and more than the one Matzei Simchas Torah. And even more than the one of Matzei Shabbos Bereishis. Now V'Yakov halach l'darkei, Yaakov already went on his way. Every Jew already went on his way in the world. And accomplished already in this physical world what it has to accomplish, which brings out that essence and reveals, even in the Mayim Rabim, even in the abundant waters that try to confuse us from our mission. That is that special l'darkei, that no matter where we are, and even and especially when we're in the physical world, when we're in a place of all the hardships and all the confusion, a Jew nevertheless knows that it's V'Yakov halach l'darkei, that he's going on his way. Going meaning he went in the way Hashem wants it, in a way where he's revealing the essence and the purpose and the mission of his being in this world. And when a Jew realizes that the Yerida, the descent is Tzerech Aliyah, it's in order to bring a greater ascent. But not just in order to bring a greater ascent, but even more than that, the Yerida itself, the descent itself, and the involvement in the world and in the Mayim Rabim itself is really part of the ascent, because it's revealing the true essence of what they're all about. That causes the Teva to be uplifted. So that causes that no matter where a Jew goes, even when he's involved in mundane matters, and he seems to be far away from Simchas Torah and from Shabbos Bereishis, and he seems to be in a world of darkness, in a world of confusion, in a world which is filled with all types of tests and tribulations. And nevertheless, a Jew goes b'simcha v'tuv levav. He's able to go with joy and with a good heart. Just like Yaakov Avinu when he was on his way to Haran, but yet he lifted his feet. Vayiso Yaakov Raglav, like Rashi says, that since Hashem gave him the good news that Hashem would be with him, and that he would return, he would accomplish his mission. So his feet were able to be uplifted on their own. He went as if with a feeling of joy, with a feeling of excitement. And then that causes that then whatever he does is with the complete manner, with the ultimate completeness, and it's beyond all limitations. Because since the person is doing it with a way of joy, joy breaks through all boundaries. And now as a result of the fact that a Jew does his avodah, in Torah, avodah, in milas chasadim, in Torah study, in prayer, and in good deeds. And he does all of this in a manner of completeness and with simcha v'tuv levav, with joy and a good heart. Hashem then gives him also everything he needs in all of his matters of children, of livelihood, and of long and healthy life. He gives it b'tachlis hashleimus, the ultimate completion, b'simcha v'tuv levav, spiritually and physically all together. It's interesting how this mimer that the Rebbe is talking about going out into the world, and the most important thing that we need to do that is to be able to have a feeling of joy. The Rebbe ends up the mimer 3 times, again and again, b'simcha, v'tuv levav, with joy and a good heart, so we can go into the world and thus accomplish and fulfill our mission.